welcome back to Usapang Bayan. Kasama pa rin po natin si Mr. Danny Scott, ang co-founder ng AutoDeal. Sir, since we're talking about car sales, cars have been made more affordable nowadays, and some people blame this huge number of cars on the roads for the traffic. What can you say about this?
What can I say about that? I think, yes, in terms of Manila, there are certainly, there's a lot more cars quickly developing onto the roads, and probably the road structure is not quite where it should be. I think if you look at other cities, though, also in Southeast Asia or around the world, there is more cars, in those cities, and they can manage it. It's just we're in a phase of rapid growth and trying to manage that growth. So I know some people have mentioned things like Grab and Uber and things like that are affecting, but I think the number of cars on the road would have reached that number without them anyway, at some point in the next 2 years. So I think maybe, it's just all starting to catch up a little bit now, and we do have to do something about it pretty soon.
I think more the government has to do something about it.
Well, that's not my place, but but yeah, you're probably right.
In terms of fuel, right? One of the plans is to increase the excise taxes on fuel as well. In your experience, do people prefer to have diesel engines or gasoline engines? What is your take on that?
I think people really do enjoy still getting a diesel engine for the obvious reasons of saving money,
Yes.
etc. And I think when things like the CX-5 came out recently, and people were asking, is there a diesel option? Yes, there's two great diesel options. So people get excited by the diesel option still. I don't know how long it's going to last, diesel options, as a lot of countries are starting to phase them out now, but still people like the diesel.
So primarily you feel that the people prefer the diesel engines because of the cheaper diesel price?
I think so. Obviously there's a good number of people who prefer gasoline for more driving reasons or whatever, but yeah.
What percentage would you say would prefer a diesel engine if they had it available in that model?
It was a bit hard to say. I don't necessarily know the data on that, but maybe it would be over half. For sure it would be over
The
half.
majority.
Yeah, that's what we find anyway. Yeah.
Sir, a lot of people nowadays already want to have their own cars, but of course, some people also have budget constraints.
That's right.
Do you offer car loans for people like that?
What we offer is, we don't offer the direct loan, but actually coming next week, we'll be offering 3 banks on AutoDeal where you can calculate your loan, what your monthly will be, etc. So we have a number of banks where you can start your process on AutoDeal, and you can calculate various loan amounts. Yeah.
In terms of your estimate or guesstimate,
Yeah.
how many percent of the auto buyers would need financing to be able to buy the car?
It's over 90%.
Okay.
95%
I see.
need financing, car loans. Yes. Yeah.
So they're very price sensitive in that case, because the ability to finance the car depends on the income that they make, and
That's right.
it's limited by the kind of car they buy is limited by the amount of money they can loan.
I think some of the ways that the industry's got around that has also been through all the promos that have been put out there by all the brands. So whether it's 0 down payment or low down payment,
Well,
those are there.
But that's a double-edged sword
It
in
is.
the sense that if people are more worried about the down payment than they are about the amortization, and the amortization is actually more than the down payment, then I don't think that is a sustainable loan that they can pursue.
Absolutely. I think that's what's been pushed, and that is also why there has been a big increase in new car sales. But as you just said, it probably isn't going to last forever.
Right.
I think the number of repossessed units in banks will probably begin to increase.
Is that the reason why you recently introduced second-hand car sales?
It's not. It's not the reason. No. No, we were going to do it anyway. But I think all of these, whether it's problems or positives, it's just all a part of the growth of an industry, and you figure out how to deal with it. So for us, if we can help move those, if there's going to be an increase in repossessed units, we'll help to expose what they are, and so people can buy them.
Well, in your estimate again, do you feel that there has been an increasing number of car foreclosures?
There has been an increase. I think that's natural with the amount of cars that are getting sold. Whether it's a major problem or whatever right now, I don't think so yet. So I mean, it does give people a good opportunity to get a good second-hand car, because some of these cars are only maybe 1 year old, so with low mileage, but they can be paid. So there's big opportunity there to get a good car, a good price. So, yeah.
How important is it to own a car, sir? Because some people are saying it is more costly because of gasoline, parking fees, and toll fees. How will you weigh the pros and cons of owning a car?
Pros and cons. Well, I guess it comes down to what George was just saying around. Yeah, you need to figure out if you can afford it or not. There are lots of things to consider, from insurance, interest rates, toll booths, etc. There's a lot of things to consider. So, yeah, I think all these things are introduced, though, like toll booths and paying to drive on a road, because there has to be some control around car ownership at some point. So, you look at Singapore. I think Singapore has just been brought in to consult on how we're going to manage our traffic, our car ownership. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of why it's still popular, you can't get an Uber or a Grab to Batangas or Baguio, right? So people still need their own transport in many ways to get around these places. So,
Well, talking about Grab and Uber, in your experience, have they been a major driver in terms of car sales?
a major driver, well, it's probably been over 100. I think they've been a definite contribution. We're talking, what is it, 100,000 drivers on the road between Uber and Grab. So,
Oh yeah.
there we go. Yeah, yep. But yeah, there's many arguments for the positives and negatives of those services as well. So I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, but you're just the platform, so you're just the marketplace.
Yeah, I
for
mean,
that,
obviously we know that things like the Toyota Vios and the Mirage have sold really well, and of course those types of cars are used in those services. So they will have been a factor for definitely cars like the Toyota Vios.
When you say the Vios and the Mitsubishi Mirage have been major sellers or good sellers, do you notice if the model trim that they're selling more of are the lower end or the higher end versions?
This is for the variants, you mean?
The variants.
It's probably more I mean, automatic is still a favorite. So for Vios, it's kind of the mid-level, not necessarily the 1.5, 5G or whatever at the higher level, but more mid-level automatic. And it's the same for the Mirage as well. So not necessarily the base, not the top level, but mid-level automatic. Yeah.
Sir, since you've already mentioned about considerations earlier, do you have a checklist in AutoDeal where potential customers can get in order for them to decide what car should they buy?
Well, we have a pretty good comparison tool which helps them decide what they want to buy. So they can compare, three different vehicles at one time, new cars or used cars. And we also suggest cars. So if they've selected two, a car which is very similar to what they've picked, we also suggest vehicles to help them, maybe think of a brand that they haven't thought of before. So our comparison tool, receives 150,000 people using it every month, so it's popular.
Maybe just to backtrack a bit, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the platform that you're offering. What information does it contain? What are the features that it would have?
Yeah, I mean, for consumers who are looking to purchase a new car, we have all the promos from around the country from dealers. So whether you're in the north or the south of the country, we have promotions there. We have car reviews, video reviews, car guides, so all your specs that you need to know, or you want to look at for your car. Um, so we really have everything around purchasing a new car regarding research. And then probably the biggest factor for AutoDeal is that we have 350 partner dealers now from different brands who are working with AutoDeal. So instead of you having to, shop around physically different dealerships, you can just do that.
Let your fingers do the walking, right?
Do that on your phone. You're sitting in bed and you can just get quotes. On your phone, you can get quotes from different brands, different dealers, and then they send you their quotes, and you can decide. So you can kind of shop on your phone, without having to physically go around, the dealerships, which saves a lot of time and it's convenient. So yeah.
Well, definitely, sir, you will spend a lot of money in buying a car. So you really have to make sure it's worth it. What should the top 5 considerations be when buying a car?
Top 5 regarding the finances of a car?
In general, sir.
In general.
Choosing a car, yeah.
I guess you first of all need to get a car that. The 2 key factors, I guess, are what's your budget and is it a car that suits your family needs or your personal needs? So, do you need 7 seats? Is it just for a school run? Are you using it for out of town? This will all determine whether you need an SUV or a compact car. So, all of those choices is, I guess, why you would come to something like AutoDeal, so you can really compare and find out what you need. And I guess budget is an important one. Yep. So
I have
2 key factors.
I have a quick question for you, because when people take a look at the classified ads in the newspapers themselves don't really vet. I mean, they don't investigate whoever is selling that car, whether he's a legitimate seller, he's selling a lemon and things like that.
Yeah.
In your case, your platform sells primarily brand new cars.
Yeah.
Do you do any background check on these dealers or distributors that sell their cars on your platform?
Well, with regards to new cars, it's a little bit easier. It's a much more regulated industry, I guess, new cars. So, we work with a lot of the mainstream brands.
Right.
So it's legitimate.
So would it be safe to say that you wouldn't be, let's say, selling brand new cars that would come from, let's say, the gray market or smuggled cars? Yeah.
We don't do gray market. I guess the other area that we provide some security on the platform is we don't just let new car sales agents join the platform. So it's dealerships and manufacturers who take part in AutoDeal, and they decide which agents are good enough to be on AutoDeal. So that provides a better experience and a bit more security for our users.
In short, what you're saying is that the people that or the cars that they see on AutoDeal are coming from legitimate, I guess, dealers or distributors. Is that correct?
From the actual businesses themselves, not from individual agents. Yeah. So some classified sites will just have, anyone can post anything. So that's the big difference with AutoDeal. It's much more regulated.
So it's safer for the consumer.
Yes.
Well, please stay tuned. Magbabalik pa rin po ang Usapang Bayan. Kasama pa rin po ang co-founder ng AutoDeal, Mr. Danny Scott.